And I have to remind myself of that too, because it's like, oh yeah, Brett, you know, it's easy to hear them when you want to. It's convenient.
What you subscribing to.
What you're subscribing to, right? So then it's like, all right, now I need to hear it more, and I need to be disciplined, and I need to be intentional about it. Because sometimes it may not be the motivation you need, it may be the momentum you need to create.
Mm-hmm. And that goes back to, I feel like, renewing the mind, when it says we must renew our minds daily, because those old thoughts are still there, just like those new thoughts are there. You know, those old thoughts are sitting somewhere in the back, and you gotta kill those things, or you gotta overwhelm them so much with the new and the mission that you're not worried about the fame, the likes, or the things that you know, most people get fed off. Like, we really gotta, and that's why I said be intentional.
Sometimes it's still surreal for me, but God is like, bro, it's not gonna be surreal for you. You need to snap out of that, because I called you.
This is what
you
do,
bro.
Yes,
this is what you do,
man.
Like, stop playing around. Like, this is what you do. But
for,
it's so surreal in how it happens that you look back and be like, bro, bro, ain't no contract, and you sit there and say, yo, I signed up. I didn't know this was gonna be that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this was gonna come with that. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
Yeah.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
Yes,
I got a special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
My brother J Flow, man. It's a blessing to be here again, bro. King Harvey, man, Hope Dilla, as y'all can see on the shirt. If you can see it, if you can't, you know, there you go. Leader of the church in the wild, self-proclaimed leader of the church in the wild, man, just trying to do what God has, you know, led me to do, walk in purpose.
For sure. So for the people that didn't really, you know, tap in, like, back then, like the childhood, the upbringing, like, how was that for you, man?
It's I guess a balance of both. You know, growing up in the DMV, you know, you got a little bit of everything going around. You can get into trouble really quick. You know, you can get into some positive things, but you can also find yourself in some, you know, some peculiar situations. I just say it like that. You know, so I had an upbringing in the church. My pops was he's a minister now. He's been a minister for the last almost 20 years. But when I was a child growing up, you know, he was a deacon. He went through his process in the church, you know, as he was transitioning, giving his life to Christ. So, you know, he poured a lot of that into me. You know, I grew up listening to a lot of gospel, Kirk Franklin, stuff like that, but I also grew up listening to a lot of hip-hop. So that's where I guess you kind of merge them both, and my music has kind of grown into what it is now.
For sure. So, like, I guess, you know, like the childhood, like the school experience, did you, like, have any hobbies? Like, when you was in school, you know how everybody be like, yo, you know, I was taking them classes. That joke was like, I had a favorite subject, or, hey, yo, you know, I looked forward to doing this, or, you know, this, that, and the third, man.
Man, two teachers stick out to me, man, from childhood, man, and I just gonna shout them out. Shout out to Gary Spina, and shout out to Thomas Moore, man. One of them was my African-American history teacher. That was Mr. Moore. Super energetic brother, man. Like, you ever just, matter of fact, you probably remind me of a brother like Thomas Moore, because you get the kids engaged and to actually want to learn. And he was one of the first person I saw, and that was probably, I was in 6th or 7th grade when I met him. So imagine being in school all of that time, and then you finally see an administrator, and it's like, oh, you make me want to learn. Like, it's fun. Like, I feel like it's rare that kids actually get that unique experience. So it was a blessing to have a brother like that. Like, he made history fun, and you know that could be hard at times. So I loved him. And Gary Spina, man, this Caucasian brother, man, and he reminds you of Santa Claus. Like, wow. Big beard, big gray beard, you know, kind of heavy set guy. But, man, like, was teaching. I went to St. Benedict right there by 23rd at Spingarn and all that. So it's like in the middle of the hood, you got this white man teaching us African-American kids Shakespeare, Othello, Hamlet. Like, I memorized Hamlet's soliloquy in the 7th grade, and, like, I fell in love with Shakespeare. Like, never realizing, like, how dope some of that literature was, because we're not really exposed to it a lot. So right. To have it was kind of like weird, because you wouldn't think you would think someone from our community would be exposing us to it, but here you go. Like I said, I got this white man in the middle of the hood pouring all this good literature and rhetoric into us, and he actually probably sparked a part of like my creative writing to a place where it wasn't even at the time. So
yeah, man, shout outs to them. I feel like it's definitely important, childhood coming up, PG County, that was me. I went to private school, then went to public school, so yes, those sir. Things. And, I always remember those, those teachers, that can definitely help you along the way. You know what I'm saying? Rather it be those, like your reading teacher, for me, I loved reading. So, like I said, God rest Miss Hellinger's soul. Like, that was one of my favorite classes that I took.
That's my grandmama's name. So I know Miss Helen was dope.
Yeah, Miss Hellinger, yeah, for sure, man. St. Michael's, you know what I'm saying? The Archangel right there in Silver Spring, man. Definitely learned a lot there, for sure. I had Mr. Ripsick. He was a history teacher.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That was 8th grade. And then, of course, like high school, Mr. Epton, I ain't like geometry like that, but he challenged me with that class with the perspective of life.
I hate it, man.
I didn't like math, bro. Them angles, bro.
I swear, bro.
That want me.
I swear.
Me.
Once we got to high school, it was like, man, shorty, what you got on your paper?
Yeah, so geometry for sure. But then, of course, I had Mr. Bose, who was my guidance counselor, who I still have a great relationship with today. Like, she definitely keeps me, sane and stuff like that. And, like that transition to actually see all those people that see potential in you.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Early,
to this
bro,
day, when they see little glimpses and stuff like that, you like, all right, bet, hold on now. And then, of course, graduated from Flowers, went to Bowie State, and then Dr. Thomas, who was one of my favorite college professors, next to, Professor Dr. Briscoe as well, who taught me media ethics. That was my introduction to this whole entire this whole entire thing that we see today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just shows all the seeds that were planted, along the way, man. So as you transitioned to that, right? Now it's early adulthood, like, finishing high school and everything like that. This notion of like, I'm an adult now. Like, how was that for you?
I had a crash course, bro. Like, life got sped up super fast because I became a father right after high school.
Okay.
Like, literally, I had my first son. Shout out to my son Jeremiah, man. That's the baby goat, man.
Okay.
That's my heart, man. He's actually 19 years old now.
Wow.
So it's crazy because people see me and they be like, "You look like you almost 19 years old." So I laugh at it because it was a dope experience though, because some people have to mature early, and then some people get a chance to actually go through a process and things like that. I actually wouldn't change anything about how that went for me because fatherhood did a lot for me just as a man, like responsibility wise, discipline wise, like, because it was a challenge and it was something that you can never truly be prepared for, like, especially at 18 years old. Like, I'm just thinking I'm about to try to figure out what's next in life, and God's like, this was next.
Wow. Okay.
So it like I said, it was a challenge, but at the same token, it was a blessing because now, like, I look at even some of my boys that have had kids later on in life, like, I've been able to walk through certain periods in my life, revisit them, and get them certain advice and things like that because our testimonies and the things we go through are never for us anyway. So it's been dope to be able to just as a father show other black men as well. Like, I've always kind of like documented because of social media. You can always see me with my kids and things, and I've always been very transparent. And I feel like I've actually had brothers reach out to me telling me, man, just by watching my walk as a dad has encouraged them to keep going. As a father of 6 now, it's super challenging, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing, man.
For sure. And I want to commend you for that because I think that for one, definitely in our communities and how we look at society, stigma, social media, what have you, to block out all of that noise and still to continue to thrive, right? Because we look at responsibility and, we get to this point of being who we needed when we were younger, right? Especially in the space, working with kids and things like that for myself. Like,
yeah.
I didn't vision that for myself. Really, what I visioned was, hey, look, I'm doing this communications thing. hey, yo, I love sports. I'm going to go ahead and talk about sports. I'm going to be on my little Stephen A. or, you know what I'm saying, Shannon Sharpe, whatever it may be, you know, being prolific in that area. And I can talk about sports all day long, from the football to basketball, boxing, and those things.
Yeah.
But then how I believe that even after that, the jobs that I had, you know, working at, you know, Best Buy, working at Buffalo Wild Wings, working at a FedEx or what have you, I've always been in spaces where I had to deal with people. Mm-hmm. So I felt like God was always preparing me to how to deal with people. And then after that, the demographic just changed from being around adults to just being like, hey, look, you about to be around youngins.
Yeah.
So it's like I had to walk into that and embrace that for what it was. So I say that to say, like, as you were embracing it, you know, some people look at the image, the look, and all of these things, and you're saying responsibility. How did that kind of like change you, and did it hit you to a point where it's like, dang, bro, okay, it's bigger than me now?
Man, like, it definitely did, bro. It was so many times where, you know, I questioned myself on this walk, because you're responsible for a life, and, you know, you don't want to drop the ball on that. So, you know, it would be a constant fight in my head sometimes, like, am I doing enough? Am I good enough? You know, am I showing him the right example as a father? You know, and then as you have more children, I became a girl dad. Now it's like, how do I balance? You know, you have a boy who you want to, you know, we kind of pour the masculinity and things like that into him. You want him to be tough, but then on this side, you gotta be what's the word I'm looking for? You got to be a little more delicate with the ladies, and you got to, you know, even with how you speak to them. So it was like a dichotomy there of trying to just balance that out. And also still having dreams. Like, you know, I still was a artist. I still had things I wanted to do. So trying to find the balance in that, because it's like family first. My dad used to always say, even with jobs and things that I would do as far as, you know, providing for the family, he like, man, I know you got your dream, and I'll never tell you to put that down, but until your dream can pay for, you know, the things you're responsible for, you got to go out here and get it and handle your business. So it definitely prepared me for life. It definitely prepared me to deal with adversity, because that's like fatherhood. I would say to anybody, that's one of the most adverse and challenging things you can go through, just being a parent. So but I'm thankful for it, because I don't think I would be the man I am today if my life wasn't the way that it was set out to be.
Nah, for sure. I mean, you know, I feel like God doesn't make any mistakes. Know what I'm saying? If he gonna sit there and be, you know, the director, it's like, yo, okay, I'm gonna just be your actor. You feel what I'm saying? Exactly, I got no choice but to be the actor, because, yo, like, this is how you scripted it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times for us, we look at things and being like, okay, dog, I want to be the actor and the director.
We want control,
we want control. And it's like, yo, you know, those situations, you know, it's like, yo, you got to ease off the gas. Like, I be telling myself sometimes, it's like, all right, well, you the driver today or you the passenger?
Are you the passenger?
Know what I'm saying? Which one is it going to be? Because there's times in our lives where we have to be the passenger and we don't want to be, because we so accustomed to being the driver.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess for you, what does the balance look like? And then when we're talking about these spaces, right, or these situations and scenarios that we can find ourselves in, like, how are you motivated still in the space? Because we know that burnout is real, especially from a brother to a brother.
Man,
it's real.
Like I told you yesterday, I got off at 6:30. Then we got a call in for mandatory overtime, so my window of sleep was pretty small. And one of the things I would tell any black man, is take your rest. Like, don't allow the world to make you think you got to be in that constant grind mode, because that is a worldly concept. In the Bible, nowhere does God tell us no days off, no sleep. Even God took a day off. So if the man who created all this took some time off, I think we should too. Like, not resting is a sin, and you can't operate at your full capacity if you don't. So I'm just trying to find that balance, like when to tell myself, like, all right, you can say no right now. You don't have to do this, or, you know, you don't have to be everywhere. And that just come with discernment, like truly tapping into, you know, my higher power, asking God, like, do I need to show up here? Do I need to be here? Is this somewhere you have me to come serve or be of service? If not, like, take that time for yourself sometime. So finding balance just in the word, you know. I love praise and worship, bro. So, you know, a lot of the times when when the tank is on E, you know, I got my little playlist, you know, it's like my go-to. I got Kalante Gavin, Pastor Mike Jr., shout out my bro, at Rock City. And really just my faith, bro. You know, because faith is only, you know, the things that we hope for, belief in it, and, you know, knowing that we can't see everything that God is doing, but if we could, would we even, you know, still yearn to do it that way? Would we even yearn to work in that direction? If he showed you everything about the plan or what it was going to take to get there, would you walk it out? So, you know, sometimes I'm finding myself just trying to be content in the not knowing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that keeps a balance there. And it keeps a level of hunger, because it's like, nah, you don't know what's next. So you got to keep going.
Right.
If you stop, you know you won't get there. So, you know, just keep going.
Right, for sure. I think it's that part. You hit so many good points. I feel like for myself, like, always understanding that you're content. You know what I'm saying? Because in this space, it's so easy to disqualify yourself, right? So, like, for myself, you know, I'm learning right now, like, God ain't really geeked about performance, bro. Like, he's not geeked about performance. Like, you can show up how you show up, but it's not like one has to outdo the other. It doesn't have to be like that, right? So, you know me, man. Like, I look at it from a stand, because the thing about it for me is like, okay, to operate in the capacity as such, no just has to be in your vocabulary.
Yep.
And I know for myself, that is what I struggle with back in like 2021, 2022, 2023. I still do at times, and I still do at times, because I had felt like I had to be superhero to everybody. Yes. But it's like, yo, okay, well, ain't he my God? Supervisor. Yeah, he's God though.
Ain't he God?
Right, he's God. So like, take it to him for real. And it's like all those situations where you're feeling like, okay, you're over here, you down the street. Nobody told you go down the street, but you went down the street anyway. Yeah. Right, now I'm saying, so now you on E, and now all of a sudden you trying to sit there and serve and do all this on E. But it's like, no, I got to go get full. I'm saying, I got to go get full ASAP. And it's hard, because you're like, you're so used to pouring and giving, and now when you're looking at, you know, ayo, like matching that same energy or whatever it may be, it's like, yo, who's pouring into me?
I was about to, I ain't want to cut you
off.
Go
ahead, bro.
I was about to interject there, because
go ahead, bro.
that you said burnout becomes real, and then burnout turns into resentment in some areas, because now you are looking for, like, man, who's reciprocating this? But it's like, are you focused on the mission, or are you trying to perform? Like you said, like, if you're always in perform mode, of course you're going to get burnt out, because you're not leaving it to him. Like I said, like, let him figure everything out. Everybody's not your mission. So when you running up the street or you running here and there, we got to really sit back and think, like, was I supposed to do this? Did I even think about it? Or am I just so used to operating in this familiar space that I'm just jetting over there? And it's like, nah, man, like, sometimes we getting in the way of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes God got to process that. Either we personally got to go through, the people around us, and we can't put our hands in everything.
Right.
And I think it just go back to faith, man. Like, everything kind of like circles and doubles back to faith, because it's like the unknown or the fear of not knowing or what could possibly occur, that's what makes us want to act and put our hands in things.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, bro, chill. Like, let him cook.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, you know, for me also, it's like being transparent. I'm like, okay, as you unlock new levels and you do new things and God presents opportunities to you and he expands, it's like, oh, no, you know what? That version of you can't go no more.
Can't go with you.
That joint can't go with you no more. And I'll be like, and then it's like, okay, tension. Now you got the tension. Mm-hmm. So now, of course, you know, like they sit there and say you wrestle with your flesh all the time.
Yes.
And you're wrestling with your flesh because now it's, oh, I'm not satisfied. Mm-hmm. So what are you chasing? Is it views? Is it likes? Is it wants? Is it needs?
Idols?
Is it what is it? What is it that's going on here? So for myself, it's like, if I completely surrender to this thing, show me what it looks like to surrender to it completely, because it's how to do it, and then obviously you being so familiar with being familiar.
Yeah.
So that's why we go back to those places and feeling
easy.
like, oh yeah, man, okay, bet. Oh, that's how
it's
you
a
cope?
Comfort zone.
Oh yeah, bet,
man.
that's your comfort. You know what I'm saying? So like,
zone.
yeah, you're gonna go back to what makes you comfortable. So now you don't feel no guilt behind it, no shame behind it.
There's no growth in comfortable places though. Like I've truly learned that like you'll be stagnated staying there because you'll find a way to feel like it's warranted. My behavior in this is warranted. You know, I'm just used to it. You hear old people say they set in their ways. That's a bad tradition, or that's a bad saying. Like, bro, you should always be evolving. And if I even equate it to going to the gym and working out, you gotta tear the muscles for them to grow. So it gotta be uncomfortable for a space to get to that growth or to get to that next level. So it's like if I keep holding on to what's familiar with me, do I truly want to grow, or do I want to just have the aesthetic of growth? Do I just want to look like I'm growing? And I feel like social media has given a lot of people the ability, even myself at times, to make it seem like so much is going on, or you're putting so much work in, or you're doing all this self-healing and everything. But you know, once you log off, you there with yourself in them four walls, and you gotta know, like, are you really doing the uncomfortable work, or are you just sitting in that space?
Right. Yeah, and I had told myself that plenty of times. I think the last time, we had a conversation, it's just like, yo, I let me down.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because
that's
so
one of my
many
favorite
days,
parts of that interview.
It's because the thing about it is you have to realize that the mistake is going to happen.
Bro.
And you have to embrace the mistake in its totality.
Yes.
So like I said, like, bro, okay, I fell.
Yeah.
Dang, bro, I fell again. I'm falling the same exact way. Why am I falling the same exact way? But it's the notion of, okay, you hearing God's voice. Are you really hearing his voice? Like, is that joint all the way turned up?
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself of that too, because it's like, oh yeah, Brett, it's easy to hear him when you want to. It's convenient.
What you subscribing to.
What you're subscribing to, right? So then it's like, all right, now I need to hear it more. And I need to be disciplined, and I need to be intentional about it. Because sometimes it may not be the motivation you need; it may be the momentum you need to create, and the faith that you need to have to continuously walk. Because a lot of, like I said, bro, it's been so many days where it's like, dang, bro, you do this, you do that, X, Y, and Z, and sometimes it's still surreal for me. But God is like, bro, it's not gonna be surreal for you. You need to snap out of that because I called you. This is what you do, bro. This is what you do,
man.
Like, stop playing around. Like, this is what you do, but it's so surreal in how it happens that you look back and be like, bro, ain't no contract, and you sit there and say, yo, I signed up. I didn't know this was gonna be that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that this was gonna come with that.
And that I feel like creates a space of anxiety and things like that. And that ain't nothing but a thief, man. Anxiety, like, we need to put charges on it, man, because it done stole so much from people. Like, it becomes you're in that space because the old you wouldn't feel worthy of that. But God's like, I'm making a new thing. Like, I called you to do this, so stop. And that goes back to, I feel like, renewing the mind, when it says we must renew our minds daily, because those old thoughts are still there, just like those new thoughts are there. Those old thoughts are sitting somewhere in the back, and you gotta kill those things, or you gotta overwhelm them so much with the new and the mission that you're not worried about the fame, the likes, or the things that most people get fed off. Like, we really gotta. And that's why I said be intentional, because, I find myself sometimes, like, I'm trying to transition into being like a full Christian artist. But I love rap so much that I find myself still listening to secular music. I still got artists that, I dive into. But I feel like, Bruce, if you're trying to go somewhere, if you truly going to be intentional about this, then the level of discipline got to be up the notch.
Right.
And you got to make sure that, you stand in that space. We can control some of these things. I feel like, again, the familiarity is a killer, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like I said there, and I told you.
And it's
so.
Like a silent killer too, because sometimes you'll subconsciously slip back into certain behaviors or patterns and not even realize you're doing it.
Right. I think for myself, it's like, okay, we ask God for a lot of things. Mm-hmm. My daily, I keep it all the way in stack. Like, I'm like, yo, strength, do this, and courage, right? Yeah. So I'm like, bro, okay, I'm asking God for strength and courage, and He'd be like, I already gave you that. I need structure now.
Yes.
I need discipline now. I need a strategy so that way when it comes down to it, I can steward this and I know I exerted everything you wanted me to exert and realizing, okay, at the end of the day, I don't have the downtime, right? Because that idle time, we know what can happen. You feel what I'm saying? Especially for my brothers out there, like, yo, lust is a thing. Things are temptation. All of that is a thing.
It's
out here, and it's lurking, and it can creep when you are not productive.
Yeah.
Easy. You know what I'm saying? It shows up in different environments. Certain things you're gonna have to say, like, no to. Nah, bro, I cannot do this today.
No to.
Bro.
And you'll find yourself, and that's why I love the Holy Spirit, man. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus, man, because he left us with a gift. And you can feel when you're not supposed to be somewhere. You can feel when something, we just go against the feeling because we think in our mind, no, it ain't going to work out like that. No, I can control the situation or whatever. No, you can't, bro.
Yeah.
No, you're a fool if you think you can. And he'll let you be a fool.
Yeah.
Because even in the word it said God looks after babies and fools. So that's why we even covered in some of that sin or in some of those decisions because he's like, I'm going to still show you mercy and grace. But I feel like we got to get out our own way in those situations.
For sure. Yeah. You know? I mean, because like I said, like I told myself being even transparent, I'm like, bro, okay, you keep falling because you're being ignorant. This is me talking to myself.
Yes.
And I'm gonna beat myself up about it because it's like, you're being ignorant. You keep falling the same way. You thinking that, okay, you get back up. Of course you're going to fall again, but you're falling the same way. So if you're falling the same way, something has to change about your posture and how you're doing. Right. So that's why I'm like, all right, bet. So, you know, for myself, it comes to the self-awareness, the circle and the community. So like, how vital is community for you?
Bruh, I got a group of brothers, man. We got a text. It's called the Next Generation of Praying Men. And it's literally like just a hub for whatever men need to talk about that day. Like, we get off a little bit of everything on there. We might laugh, joke, we might talk sports, but we talk faith heavy. We pouring scripture into each other. I'm big on like Bible study, things like that, like staying in my word. So like Tuesdays, anybody that know me know around 7:30 on Tuesday, Bruce probably at the church or he's on Zoom for Bible study because we forsake fellowship a lot of times and we isolate. And that's when the enemy's like, oh, thank you so much for getting by yourself. I wanted you to do that. Now you have no strength. You have no covering. God is our covering, but he also sends people and puts a harvest and people around us to be certain things in our lives. But we tend to get so wound up or, you know, the hustle and bustle of, you know, this mundane thing that we call life get to us. And we like, man, I got to invert. I got to go in and I got to, you know, block out everybody else. I'm going to deal with this on my own. Nobody can really help me anyway. Or you just feel like you may not want to expose certain things. So, you know, the insecurity of being transparent blocks you from, you know, being confessing. Because it tells us in the word we must confess our sins
you have to confess
to
one another. You have to.
So that you can be free of those things.
Yes, absolutely.
So the enemy, his biggest trick is like, man, let's keep you away from community. And for me, it's like, nah, bro, I lean into that. I lean into the brothers. I'll tap in with a brother like you. I look forward to, you know, those, man, let's get it, let's go.
Right.
Because you don't know some days I don't want to let's go. So, you know, man, thank you, Jay. Like, I needed that motivation or, you know, and you never know who or where it's going to come from.
Facts.
So shutting yourself down and isolating, I feel like, man, like, we do it so much because we feel like we got to be strong, especially as men.
Yes.
And I feel like that's like one of the most toxic things that the world has placed on us as men, man. Like, we cry, we hurt, you know, we go through this thing called life just like everybody else.
Right.
And I feel like as a man, like this is to any brother out here, man. Like, crying is like taking your soul to the cleaners, man. So get that stuff up off you. You know what I'm saying? Get you a community of brothers, some people that you could be vulnerable with. Your vulnerability is your superpower.
Right.
I love 8 Mile when B Rabbit is on the last, like, final verse. Because he like, I'm going to say everything that you about to say about me. I'm going to be completely vulnerable and transparent. So now I just took all your power. Right. You have nothing left to say that I'm shamed about or that I'm, embarrassed about or anything like that. And that was one of my favorite parts of the movie because you can apply that to anything in life. Like your vulnerability is truly your superpower. If I already saved my flaws and the things that I know that I have going on with me, if I'm able to embrace and accept them, what power do you have against me now?
Right. Yeah, and that's one of my favorite movies as well. But to reverse pivot, I feel like everybody needs a Cheddar Bob in their life.
Yeah,
because of that friend, that person that's going to be able to
light the fire.
Exactly.
Bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, that's going to tell you the man when you don't feel like you the man.
Yeah,
bro,
yeah, and I think that
we should be there for each other.
Yeah, we should definitely. I agree, and I think that for community, for myself, is just like realizing that like the likes of yourself, the likes of other brothers that I've met on this journey of life, man, it's been honorable and admirable because we all have different struggles and different walks, but like I said, there's a lot of similarities. I'm dealing with this too. You dealing with this too?
Yes.
All right, but how can we
bro,
really overcome
how are you navigating through this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then the thing about it too is a lot of places that we've deemed safe aren't safe. Know what I mean? Like, how you doing? The regular conversation, we quick to go to the bar, you know what I'm saying, or quick to go here, this, that, and the third, put ourselves around, toxicity real quick, think it's safe, but
it's gonna light the fire even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. You get things like alcohol, and this is not no knock on anybody.
No, we're not shaming
I've never had
right.
I'll take a drink, every now and then socially, things like that. But I feel like when we're going through, those are the worst. Those are the absolute worst things to do, man. Because like you said, it doesn't really truly help. Like when the smoke clears, my father used to always say, like, once you finish drinking and smoking and doing all that, the problem or whatever you was dealing with is still sitting right there. And now it probably feel like a 500-pound man because now you hungover, you done spent some money you maybe didn't have, you done overshared or something like that. Now you thinking like, man, should I even have told that person this? But you put yourself in that space, and it's because, going back to familiarity, we told to go do these things. Oh man, you had a rough day, man, let's go to the bar, let's go to happy hour. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever says, man, bro, let's just go, you want to go pray, or you want to go sit and read, or bro, like, let's just go take a walk, or let's go hop on these bikes, let's hit the gym, let's do something that will also benefit us as I'm trying to heal through this.
For sure. Yeah, and I think that's when we find
even this, like this is like therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Just being able to talk about it and normalize it, because like I said, man, like the old me, the way that I respond now, I'm like, yo, God is working, because I know how my flesh would have responded years ago. I'm angry and upset. It's like, nah, I would take that energy and just take it and not know. And not know how to channel it. But of course, the power of journaling or being vulnerable. I think when we start talking about the issues and things of that nature, we invite healing into our space.
You got me back into that. I probably never told you that. And now my son does it. Like my son, Justice, he's 9. And after we've done some of the workshops, like, I used to write and read a lot when I was younger. And, life, you grow up, you get responsibilities, things like that. You gravitate away from some of your core things that, kept you, in a certain space.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, and even with my music, I stopped writing for a while. I go to the studio. I don't want to be arrogant, but I got to that space where I didn't really need to write, but that does take away from the creative process. Sometimes that writing really, it's therapeutic as well.
Right.
So, I went back after one of the sessions we did, and I just grabbed a little notebook. I got a notebook, it's brown, and it says goals on it, but I just journal in that joint. And I saw my son one day, he was having like a little emotional, he was in a little bit of emotional distress, and I could see he didn't know how to get it off of him. And I was like, man, I'm going to show you something real quick. So I grabbed a piece of paper. I said, what do you think? My rapping is just like getting ideas and things that I'm feeling outside of me, onto this paper. I said, man, this is what we did at the creative writing workshop with Mr. J last weekend, and we got a lot of the kids to just sit, listen to an instrumental, and whatever you were feeling at the time, release that.
Right.
And I watched the power in what it did for him. and how his energy shifted. Like, now he filled up the page, so I was like, "Dang, little bro, like you got a lot on your mind right now." But exactly. It was beautiful to just be able to see like it's an outlet, it's an option for him, and a healthy option, opposed to, like you said, us we will shoot to everything else, everything that does us no good. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to doing something like that.
So right, exactly.
I commend you for even, in adulthood still applying that to your life, because a lot more of us need to do that, bro. A lot more of us just need a notepad. Instead of cussing somebody out, go ahead and get it off you real quick.
Right,
man.
For sure, yeah, because we need those outlets. And what I realized is like healing, like, oh yeah, knowing that this part of you was wounded.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I still got to
acknowledge it.
I still got that, acknowledge that, and realize, okay, it wasn't the best, but what can I do now?
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about it, we are realizing and inviting healing into our space. Because we're willing to talk about it. We're willing to be vulnerable about it and realize our mistakes are our mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're human and we make them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the grace that God gives us is the grace that we have to give others. That's heavy.
And we don't, man. Like, I find myself even at times, and I'm a Christian, and but I can honestly, just being transparent, it's times when I'm not showing the grace that I know I should give to others, or I haven't, and that just comes with pulling away from life, because we get so caught up in this thing called life that we can forget that the brother right beside you, he dealing with the same thing. He walking this same world that he's navigating through, that you're navigating through. Y'all both are doing it. Consider him today. Consider that he might have had you had a bad day, but what if he had a worse day?
Right.
Well, you don't know what's going on with him. So I feel like, we do have to show more grace, man. So I love you using that as the choice word.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, at the same time, is if God is going to handle you with care, you should be able to handle others with care. You know what I mean? And it's like for our brothers, our sisters, and everybody out there in this world trying to navigate all of these different things, just knowing that they are valued, they are appreciated, and it's hard because even us in the space, we look for the round of applause or great job, and it's like we have to tell ourselves that before we receive that.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly.
And you got to stick to the mission. Like, what if you never get the applause?
Right.
Are you not going to stay on the mission?
Right.
Like, did God call you to do this?
Right.
So we really, I forget who said it, but it was a pastor I was listening to, and he said that we are really supposed to only perform for an audience of one.
Mm.
And that's God. Like, why are you out here worrying or even seeking the accolades? And that's me, myself, speaking to, in this conversation, in this space. Like, I myself have struggled with that. Like, man, like, I want, because we human. We want to feel appreciated. We want to get, like you said, them little claps. Applause, but it's like, man, like the clap is seeing that person heal or seeing that person change or take what you told them or did for them and they apply it and they become better.
Right.
The other night I was at work and I was super drained and tired, and the young lady, Miss Davis, she was just kind of, I could see something was sitting on her. And, my pops told me one of the hardest times to minister is when you feel like you need to be ministered to as well. But those are the times when God is going to give you exactly what you need. You know what I'm saying? And we're in the truck talking, and I just started sharing some of my story with her and just being transparent, because I feel like I truly am called to inject hope. The pain I went through was to be able to give someone hope, to see that they can go through the same thing and come out on the other side better, a new creation, a new person, if they're able to, embrace the fact that all of that was going to happen anyway. God already had your plan set out for you, so that was meant to refine you. So that's why I call myself the hope dealer. Because the world is in need of that right now.
Yes, it is.
So I truly feel like if we just adopted that mindset, everybody would be a lot better, man.
Yeah, not for sure. I mean, we want to be healthy. We want to be in this space of healing and realizing, like, yo, it's important to us.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I tell people all the time, man, like,
it ain't about the validation.
It's not about the validation, and that's what can definitely trip you up. Like days where you count yourself out, you don't realize the people that are counting you in. You don't realize the people that are making the calls and making the referrals, and they
you don't even know
how consistent you are and things like that. And God will continue to wow you. I can definitely say that year after year after year, and just being consistent and stewarding what God wants me to do. So that's why, it's a consistent basis with, like I said, the programming and things like that. Those were ideas that God was just giving me and being like, okay, it don't matter if it's 5 people. It don't matter if it's 10 people. The people that need to be there, and you've reminded me of this as well, the people that need to be there will be there.
They're going to be there.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless. You don't have to, of course you do your part. You sit there, you provide the space, you get the word out, X, Y, and Z. Don't worry about it. God to bring the people.
I had to stop doing it myself, bro. Like I would put out content or I would put out something, and then I find myself, what's the numbers looking like? What's the insights? How many people liked it? Da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, God, like, you're doing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing it for me. All right, I'm going to keep letting you feel this way until you understand that you need to stick to the mission and not worry about none of that.
Right.
And I heard Eric Thomas say it, like, it's so many people that are blocking the true abundance that God has in their life because they're worried about the fame or the attention or whatever, instead of just sticking to the mission.
Right.
And just being who you are every day. Like, one of the things I admire is that day in, day out, no matter what it is, you get up and you put out that content. Like, bro, that's sticking to the mission. You probably don't always feel like it. You may have days where you don't even want to minister to the world, but you do it. You're sticking to the mission, not worried about whether 1 million people saw it or, like you said, 5 people saw it.
Right.
Because you stuck to what he had you to do.
Right.
There's the win right there.
Yeah, that's the win. And that's what people like. That's what I really like. Because like I said, people didn't even really understand how it really came about, bro. It was therapy for myself. So when y'all hear me talk, that's me talking to myself, bro.
Yeah,
that ain't me like saying like
I've
been there, did that already. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like, no, like, bro,
I'm walking through this right
now, and this is what I'm telling y'all. Like, bro, like, this is a message to myself.
Yeah.
So people are like, yo, wait, what? Bro. But like I said, me verbally explaining it, some people look at it like, oh yeah, man, he done been through. Like, oh yeah, he good. Nah, bro, I'm still dealing with that.
I'm walking with this.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
when I'm telling y'all to go make it happen on the Monday, or expectations on the Tuesday, and setting your boundaries, your standards, and all of that stuff, or, getting over the hump on the Wednesday, or, forgiving somebody, these are constant reminders that we have to remind ourselves daily, regardless of whatever day of the week it is. It all applies. So like when people see it, they're like, dang, bro, that's
they think you got it figured out.
They thought I had it figured out. But no, like, that's not the case.
It's trial and error every day, bro.
For sure.
And I realized that when we're not trying and we're not performing and we're doing just what you're doing, that's what wins. That's why you're winning. Because you're not trying to be nothing else but, man, this is me every day. Like, I'm literally going through I'm vulnerable enough to come on here and give y'all this every day.
For sure. Like, it's days where I tell people, man, like, if you fall, get back up. Like I said, you're gonna make mistakes. Like, you have to be willing to try.
For that, bro.
And people have to understand that, because at the end of the day, like, people would think that it's perfect. And it's like, you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. And I tell people that too. You don't have to be.
My pastor just said it. I just got the shirts and everything for the Hope Dealer merch. And I had been putting it off because I kept saying monetarily it wasn't the time. Financially, I needed to do this, I needed to do that. So it's like, man, I don't have the time to invest. And he like, so when's going to be the time? It's going to always be something that makes you feel like it's not the right time or it's not perfect. Are you going to walk past that and push past that, or are you going to stay stagnated and just not ever see what you truly can be, or what the true end game was for you? And I'm like, the hell with it. So I just broke down and bought, did what I had to do, and I got the merch the other day, and I felt so good because it was like, you're sticking to the mission. You're not worrying about all the other stuff that could potentially stop you from doing it, because it's a million things that'll tell you to not keep going or to not do what you got to do. It's like, push past all of that, man.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to constantly remind myself that God does not bless who you pretend to be.
Nope.
He does not. Like, bro, no, he's not. He's not going to do that.
Because you masquerading, and he like, man, I'm a jealous God for one. So you're not about to be out here acting like you for me, but you really got other idols and things that you put before me. He's not going for that. So you're not about to sit out here and pump fake with God. And it's some people that are winning in that space or doing those things, and they think that it's God blessing them, and they don't realize the enemy will bless you too to do his work.
That's a word.
You know what I'm saying? So you'll think, man, oh my God, I got this, that, and the third going on in life. And like, what's the root of it though? Because you know that you ain't truly surrendered, or if you're not truly doing it for God, so who is blessing you then? Because he not blessing no mess.
Right. Because like I said, at the end of the day, it's like understanding how that shows up. And like I said there, and I told people before.
That's a
like
word.
How it shows up.
How stuff shows up
how it shows up in your life. Like, because the thing about it is, okay, like you just sat there and said, like, with God and the enemy, right? Like, if I have to continue to put on the show to still get what I need to get, at the end of the day, bro, the lights is off, X, Y, Z, can I sleep comfortable?
Bruh.
Can I be comfortable with that and understanding
that would come from that?
Because I got to sit there and do things that I don't even want to do. I got to conform. Why do I have to conform?
If I'm really operating in,
if I'm operating with God and being on His team and in the Spirit, then I don't have to do these fearful things where I got to sit there and look over my back and be like, yo, what's going on? So I think that at the end of the day, it's just understanding that and, that was surrendering what you feel like you need to surrender. Because sometimes you're going to feel like, all right, man, this 80% good, this 20% I want to give. But I got to give this 20% though, because guess what? I need this whole. You feel what I'm saying?
My brother Joaquin said, man, I love, what's going on, and I love what you're doing, little brother, and everything. He said, but there's still some areas that what you haven't surrendered fully to God.
Right.
And he said, that's when the breakthrough is going to fully happen. Only you know that. And that's something that truly is subjective to the individual. Like, we all know what we haven't truly surrendered.
Yeah.
And what's holding us back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, and it, like you said, we'll trick ourselves and be like, man, I'm 80% good over here, like you just said, but that 20% is the thing that's holding you back. Like,
right.
And you looking at it from your worldly eyes, like, man, well, God, come on, I do this, I X, Y, and Z. Like, I feel like I'm good over here, and God, like, nah, I want that.
Yeah. He wants that. That fully.
Why you holding that so tight?
Right.
Why you won't let that go?
Why would you let it go?
Give me that.
Right, exactly. And then the thing about it is because it's going to show up.
Every day.
It's going to show up every single day. Yeah. And it's going to show up in a way where it'll get tighter and tighter. You thought it was 80. Like, It was 80. It was 80-20. 70-30.
Now it's even
60-40. Man. It's going to go the opposite way. So we have to really understand, like, okay, how do we really truly put a hold on this thing? So, like I said, for the people out there that's dealing with pride, that's dealing with ego, that's dealing with lust, that's dealing with all these other things, get around the community or get around people that have dealt with those things or that are dealing with them right now. So that way you don't feel like you're on an island by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because God got a love island for you. I understand the love island that everybody watching.
Right,
we talking about the love island that God got.
And
He got
pure,
it for you in His spirit, bro. You got to worry
pure,
about nothing.
Man.
You ain't got to compromise nothing. You just got to be able to walk every single day and talk to Him every single day too, man. And build that relationship.
Giving yourself, Kalante Gavin, man, he got a joint that's called Love Melody, man. I encourage anybody, YouTube, Kalante Gavin, Love Melody. I listen to this song every day, and he almost turned the praise service into a repentance service, like, because he got so deep in it. He said, man, God, this season in your life, he said, the next 6 months of your life can be better than the prior 6 years, but God is seeking an oil change. He wants to change some things in you. He wants to deliver you, but he wants you to surrender yourself. He doesn't want your things back. He doesn't want none of that. He wants you. He wants that thing inside that we was just talking about, that thing that you holding on to. That's what God wants, and He truly is going to bless. You know what I'm saying? I feel like true believers, true followers of Him, He's going to bless us in abundance when we fully surrender. And it's not until that time you won't truly see the blessing, the things that He has for you, the life that He has for you, until you step into that surrenderance. And that's me talking to, myself, talking to everybody.
Nah, for sure. I definitely needed to hear that too. Yeah. And I feel like that's the thing, and it's good because, like I said, it's like if you're driving all the time, you're going to have to sit there and realize those things too.
You got to pull off one. I mean, you is on a road trip, you got to eventually pull over, like, at some point, bro, like, and stop. Like, you can't just keep going. Like, you know. So
that's what they made rest stops for, pit stops for. You got to sit there and take your time
and
understand what it is, man. And like I said, even with the self-care, like we're so busy doing a lot of things. So like the self-care, what does that look like for you, man? Like I know, you know, like I said, for me, journaling, working out. You know, like I said, I work out early in the morning. I get my steps in, things like that. I'm really just, it's therapeutic. Sometimes I listen to music, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just calmness. It's peace. It's just understanding, building that structure. Because right now the biggest thing for me, structure and the discipline to carry it out. Because I know where I'm weak at.
Yeah.
And in order to strengthen that requires more structure and discipline and momentum.
Yeah.
I feel like for myself to give motivation all the time and then to be motivated, I can find it. But at the same time, to continuously carry that momentum, that's where I'm like, okay, well, God, like, if I need to show up this way, allow me to show up this way and block out all these distractions, whatever it may be. Like I said, changing my appetite towards things, changing to what I see. So, yeah.
Self-care, man. If I had to be honest, I've been lacking a lot in that area lately. Like I haven't been really taking care of Bruce like I should, and it's been showing up in a lot of different areas. Like I found myself kind of irritable at times and things like that, and it just goes back to what I was telling. I spoke on earlier. Not resting is a sin. Not taking that time for yourself. So I'm actually glad you brought that up, because I encourage myself and any brother right now. Like, it's okay to just take your time for you. Like, it's okay as a black man to be tired. Like, the world will try to beat you up if you're tired or you're sick or you feel like you just can't go, because we're put in this space of we're only viewed as like providers, I feel like. So you're looked at as you gotta constantly be in that mode, but it's like, man, damn, like we get tired too.
Yeah,
you know, we hit the wall too. So but if I had to, I guess, regulate it to doing something, I love writing. I love music, man. So like I can sit and turn on an instrumental, and if I'm in a good quiet space, things just start coming to me.
For
and
sure.
You know, I'll sit there and I'll, you know, pen a couple records, or I may not even want to put the music out. It may not even be something I'm gonna put out, but it's just therapeutic to get the thoughts out and get them, you know, sitting down on a piece of paper.
For sure.
Working out, like you said, I love to run. I had took a little bit of time off, but I love running and riding bikes, man. Like I can get on that bike and I look up and I've been riding for 4 or 5 miles, because it just kind of gets you in a space where, you know, especially if you get a good trail, you know, surrounded by a lot of trees, you got good oxygen, good breeze blowing through there. It's just kind of like
you're
blocking out the rest of everything that's around you.
Yeah, nothing else matters.
Yeah, man. And worship too, man. I love worship, man. Like one of my favorite portions of, you know, church service is praise and worship. I can sit in my car and like in the morning when we're about to get off, I usually have like a 30-minute window where you know, I'm just chilling in the car, kind of buying a little time. And I'll just turn on a gospel playlist and just ask God, like, just fill the car with your presence.
Yeah.
Like, let me get this time where I'm not worried about nothing else, where I'm not doing nothing else. Like, I just want to have this space with you right now, God. You
right.
know? And it's kind of funny because I just put out a single called Charge Up. And that's like my charge up moment every morning. It's like sit in the car. I got a select few songs that really just hit for me a certain way, and it's like, God, just fill my spirit back up.
Right.
You know? And that's a form of self-care, because it's giving me the fuel that I need to push through to do whatever I got to do.
Right. So. Yeah. I like your best ability is availability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So God is making sure that you are going to be available for the things that matter the most.
Yeah,
whatever He's called you to do, whatever that assignment.
Because it's nothing worse than feeling like you're called to do something, but you don't have it in you to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you're burnt out, or your mind is not there and you're distracted. You can't fully give what you're supposed to give to it. And like for me, that like things that I'm passionate about, like this is something I'm passionate about. I was so upset that we got the call for, you know, the mandatory overtime situation, because I'm like, Sunday, I got to get up and be of clear mind, rested and everything. I'm about to go sit down and have a talk with my brother. I want to be operating at full capacity.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so it's things like that where it's like, man, I never want to not show up when I'm walking in purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we got to rest, man. We got to take that time for ourselves.
We do have to take the time out for ourselves and tell ourselves that we're doing a good job. And
Yes.
it's hard to be us. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
It's hard
yes.
because, you know, you are dope, you're a vibe, and you're amazing, and you have to believe that. So, like I said, affirmation is big, man. If brothers never heard the I love you, I see you, I salute you, like, bro, I'm telling you right now, from one brother to another, I see you, I appreciate you, it's love. Because at the end of the day, that's what we have to put out there, and we have to show it.
I got a brother from Philly named Cody. Shout out my man Cody and his son Phoenix, man. I met him off Instagram. But the brother literally, I sent them the link to the La Russell feature the other day. You know,
salute to that.
Shameless plug, man. Pray for Me featuring L.A. Russell and my brother. The Heart is out right now on all platforms. You can stream the Trench Connection album. Do me a favor, run it up, man. It's a beautiful project, and I'm truly proud of it.
For sure.
But I sent my brother the link the other day, and you know, I just sent it, and I had some small conversation with him, and his reply back was, "Bro, why are you talking about this so casually? Like it's not a big thing. Like give yourself some credit right now and understand you doing things. Like God is putting you in certain places, brother. Like stop." And I think it goes back to that what you said about feeling unworthy sometimes. Like, I don't necessarily, or we as men don't give ourselves that credit or that pat on the back because we don't necessarily truly feel like we're doing enough or like we're worthy of those accolades.
Or it goes back to like, bro, am I really qualified to be doing the thing that I'm doing?
Yeah.
Or is this regular for me?
Yeah.
Because like I said, what could be regular for me may be looking like a Super Bowl for you, but I'm like, this is a playoff game. I still got to get to the bowl.
Yeah, like
you
I ain't even at the bowl
I still got to
yet.
get to the chip. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I may be in playoff mode, and you may be seeing that forever, but it's like, bro, you done won a lot of chips already. What you talking about?
Like,
I don't feel like I got a banner in my room. What you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I don't got a banner. I ain't got a chip. Like, I'm not playing for that. I'm still in this mode. It's like, bro, well, clap for yourself.
Clap.
Like, what you mean? It's like, you get accustomed to it.
I struggle with it,
You know what I'm
man,
saying?
like a lot, man. And I feel like that goes back to validation.
Yeah.
And, you know, who are we truly performing for? Because if we just doing it for him, then we did enough just getting up day by day and walking this thing called life out. You know, being of service to another brother, doing the things that he's placed upon us to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, in the community, like, sometimes I look at myself like, all right, bro, like, am I qualified to do this? And it's like, bro, yeah, you are. Like, stop playing around with, don't play around with the gift that God gave you. Don't do that. Because at the end of the day, like, he gave it to you.
For a reason.
For a reason, for you to unlock and open that gift and walk into it. Because like I said, the gift is for you. The gift is not, the gift God gave you is for others.
Mm-hmm.
So once you know how to steward that and service others with that gift, the abundance, he's going to sit there and determine.
And I feel like you value it more. Once you realize like, oh man, it really did give me this to use it for something so much bigger. Like it's way bigger than me. And once you start to, when you really can wrap your mind around that, it's a selfless thing that, you know, happens with you. It's like, oh man, it's no more. So you really start pulling self out.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that's bigger than you, bro. You gotta show up. You gotta be here. Like Jay called you to come pull up for them kids, bro. It ain't about you. It's about servicing them youngins, man. You know, so.
And that's what it is for me. I look at it being selfless, like, because you could easily be selfish and be like, oh yeah, comparison the thief of joy. This person's doing this. This person's doing that. Why my blessing ain't come yet? You know what I'm saying? Well, did you steward everything that God wanted you to do? Did you fulfill everything he wanted you to do? Did you meet the people he told you to meet? Did you show up to places that you weren't supposed to show up to and you just decided to do your own thing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You made the U-turn. You made the U-turn for yourself.
Yes.
But you would sit there, you're supposed to make the right turn. You're supposed to make that left. You're supposed to sit there and put the car in parking.
You pulled
on
a
it.
Jonah
You know what I'm
on
saying?
him, man. You said, I'm not going to Nineveh, man. I'm going the other way.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You know what
Like,
I'm
that's
saying?
what, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And times along the journey, you do have to make a U-turn for yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, really just pay attention, and you're gonna have to yield to things. That's why all these signs, like when you driving and stuff, they got all these things, man. Pay attention to the signs. Yeah, the lights. You feel me? Green mean go, yellow mean proceed with caution, red mean stop. You got your yield sign. You got your, know what I'm saying, your speed limits, making sure like
you got your signs too.
It's all signs, bro. And you got to pay attention.
And it's all to help you navigate.
Yeah, navigate the road to success. That God got for you, bro.
Amen.
Yeah, man. Amen. That's love, bro. That's love. For sure, dog.
Amen. That's a little conversation for the
congregation.
Right,
yes, indeed, man.
Yeah,
for sure, man.
Yeah,
so, like, man, who would, like, the motivation-wise, like, what would you tell the person out there that's probably, like, lost, confused, not knowing where to go? Because I think that for us, especially with social media and everything that we deal with, you know what I'm saying, from the youngins seeing it, how IG, TikTok, all that stuff is. And then, of course, us as adults, we get caught up in track meets and feeling like speed is more important than direction. And I always sit there and say direction is more important than speed.
It is.
No matter what turn you took, what step you took, just knowing that another step can lead to another step. But what would you tell other people?
Unplug for one, man. This world will jade you so much. It'll have you so bombarded that if you don't take time to pull away from it, it'll kind of swallow you. And I mean, that's the socials, that's all of those things, and that's me again talking to myself. You know, that doom scrolling and all that, that's a real thing. Like, and putting all that time and energy into something that's truly not of your benefit, what are you expecting to get from it? So I would tell anybody, like, unplug, man, get in your word, like, find what God is telling you to do. Like, really convene with him and get in that space and just understand that, one, you're worthy. One, you're a child of God, so you've been given gifts and blessings and things that are unique just to you, and he has a purpose just for you. So stop comparing yourself. Stop looking to the world for your validation as well, because the world is always going to have something to say. They crucified the only perfect man to ever walk this earth, and all he wanted to do was give truth and help heal. What do you think they're going to do to you? So if we continue to seek validation in man, we'll always fall short somewhere. So I would tell anybody, perform for an audience of one, man. Whatever you're doing, do it for God. Do it with love in your heart, and be considerate of the next person, man. Give somebody some hope. Sometimes the only Christ a person will ever see, or the only form of God or love a person will ever see, will be through you, through their interaction with you.
Facts.
Make sure they see something good, man.
Nah, for sure. I think that embrace the light that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Embrace the light that you are. Don't be afraid to shine your light. Don't dim it for other people. And realize that you are the bridge. You are the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So embrace who you are and show people the way. You know what I'm saying? It's either, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, it's like you got to help the next person, help the next generation. For me, I didn't think I'd be doing any of this, but God is like, nah, I made you for this.
I got this for you.
I got this for you. This is what it is. And because I've accepted it and embraced it, that's why the blessings happen. And sometimes a lot of us look for a blessing, but we have to be a blessing first.
Amen, man.
So,
amen to that.
Man.
That's funny, because that's something that I've also struggled with myself. Like, at times I've gotten a lot better with it now as I'm just practicing surrendering, but realizing, like, bro, the blessing is that he already gave you the gift to use and do it. That's the blessing. Stop looking for something in return. Like, the blessing was the gift.
Right, exactly.
You know? So,
yeah, for sure. And then realizing, like, if you take yourself out of selfish mode and you put yourself in selfless mode, so much more can happen. Changes. I always tell people, how can I help you is always going to be more important than what can I gain, every single time.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen,
this was a great conversation, man. It felt like I was in church. It felt like I was in a therapy session.
I was gonna say I was on the couch.
Like all of I'm saying, it felt like all that, bro. But
but this is what I feel like, especially just coming off Men's Mental Health Month. This is what men need, man. Like, safe spaces just to get it off, man. We got so much jumbled up inside of here, and it's like, man, you got to get it out sometime, somehow.
For sure, man. Well, like I said, bro, from one brother to another, I see you. I appreciate you. Love you, bro.
Love you, my brother.
The fact that you're doing so many things and God is elevating you in so many spaces, from fatherhood to professional to musical and all of these things. I pray that God continues to steward all those gifts that he's already given you, so that way you can just see the abundance, the overflow, the breakthrough, everything that, you know, that he has for you and more. And I'm praying that you win all the battles that you are fighting, bro. Don't know what those are, but whatever battles you are fighting,
I receive that, bro.
I pray that you overcome them.
I receive that, bro.
For sure.
I receive that. Thank you, man. I love you, brother.
Love you more, bro.
Man.
And you already know, the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. And we out.
Yeah.
Soundstripe.